Hi, Tam here. One common question I get is, hey Tam, what's the best country in the world to live in? You see, that's a very difficult question to answer. It depends on many different factors. I mean, what's your priority? What's best for you at this point of your life? Are you single? Do you have a family? Do you have kids? Is your priority making money? Is the weather conditions very important to you? I mean, some people prefer the cold, some people prefer the heat. Some people are in love with tropical climates, right? The heat, the beach. Others are in love with cold weather, alpine regions of the world, snow, stuff like that, you know? I mean, I remember when I was in Alaska, some people just hated the weather. Others were in love with the weather. They couldn't get enough of it, you know? In fact, one doctor friend of mine actually decided that he was going to move to Alaska, stay there, practice there, and basically, live there permanently. Right? So when it comes to what's the best country in the world to live in, it depends from people to people, you know. Now, there is some equalizing factors, parameters, that go for most people, right? So you're looking for a country that is safe, and by safety, I mean crime is low, or relatively low, and police response is effective, fast and effective, right? So that you can be safe, your family can be safe, your kids can be safe, right? So that's important in most people's mind. And then you have the educational system. You have kids, you want them to have the best education possible. And then the most important factor is your remuneration. How is your salary going to be for the position you're looking for? Now, I might love this place, it might be great, it has all the things I've mentioned, but if my salary is going to drop from, let's say, as an example, $20,000 a month to $2,000 a month, I have to now think about that. Okay, this is a wonderful place, it's paradise for me, it's paradise in my eyes, but I'm now making $20,000 a month. I'm ready to take a pay cut, but $2,000 a month is just too much. Or yes, I'm making $20,000 a month, I'll be making $15,000 a month. I can live with that. The cost of living is much cheaper in that country than it is here. So in the end, I'm going to come out on top. I'm going to be a winner. So yes, so I don't mind taking a salary cut. I think the quality of life is going to be fantastic, And then thinking about the long term, in 4 years, in 5 years, I might actually get a passport from that country and it's a country I love. So you have to look at all these factors, you have to factor in all these parameters and then decide what is the best country in the world for you. And that's why I'm saying it's a very difficult question to answer. But now when people ask me that, what's your favorite country, right? Now we're talking about as a visitor. I mean, I've been in multiple cities, multiple countries, in all continents of the world except Antarctica, because there's no cities there, right? But when they ask me that question, again, it's so difficult to answer, because now, when you're talking about as a traveler, of all the countries you've been to, all of them, whether you've been there for 1 week, 1 month, or 6 months, what's your favorite place in the world? It's impossible to answer. I mean, falling in love with a country, what exactly are we talking about? We're talking about the people of that country. You're falling in love with the people. You're falling in love with the communities. You're falling in love with the way of life of the people. Some people love the simplicity of life that certain places have to offer. Some people prefer the hustle and bustle of the bigger cities. You have some people who are all about big time shopping and big time restaurants and all that stuff. So for some people, they'll tell you that London is the best place in the world. By the same token, you have people living in London. I mean, I've got a friend who lived in London for 20 years, man. Even more than that. And he's never been in love with London. He's only there because of the money that he's making. And there's a lot of people in London who will tell you, I wish I could get out of here, and start a new life somewhere else. And they want to leave London, they want to leave the UK, and they want to relocate in Canada. And in Canada, you have some people, you might be, so you relocate in Vancouver, and you have some people in Vancouver who will tell you, oh man, I really hate it here. I'm moving, I'm bouncing, I'm going to the US. Right? I'll be going to Los Angeles, And then in Los Angeles, you have people who will tell you that, you know what, this city is a shit show, right? I need to get out of here. I'm moving to Houston, Texas. And as a whole, in the US, you have some people who are leaving the US and who are moving to Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh, and they tell you that life in Ho Chi Minh is so much better, the people are so much nicer, and I'm making twice the money I was making in New York. And in Vietnam, you have some people who can't wait to leave Ho Chi Minh to relocate in Singapore. And in Singapore, so the world is moving around. People are nomadic. People are moving for different reasons, We all have our reasons for moving around. Just now, I've come back just some few weeks ago from Angola. All right, I was working in Luanda, Angola, and I was there for 3 months. Now, at first when I left, I had never been in Angola before, and some friends were telling me, are you sure about that? Luanda, Angola, and I told them, look, I'm going, right? Those 3 months in Angola were wonderful. The people were wonderful. For 3 months, I stayed in a beautiful hotel with a rooftop swimming pool, with a beautiful restaurant, beautiful rooms, everything was great in that hotel. It was wonderful people. And to be honest, I fell in love with Angola. I felt it was a wonderful country. The long and short of it, when people ask me, of all the places you've been to, of all the cities, all the countries you've seen, or have you visited, what is your favorite country? What is the best country in the world? Another way to ask this question is, where are the best people in the world? Who are the best people in the world? Where did you feel most comfortable, most welcome? I think that's what people are trying to say. And again, there's so many countries that I fell in love with. So many fantastic memories. The thing is, there is wonderful people everywhere. Just like there's assholes everywhere, but there's wonderful people everywhere. And if you go in whatever country you go to, if you go there as a positive, open-minded person, this is going to be reflected back on you. If you're positive, you're open-minded, you embrace the culture, you embrace the people, they will embrace you as well. And your stay will be wonderful. So when I was in Brazil, I loved Rio de Janeiro. I loved the Foz do Iguaçu area, but some people hated it. I loved Cairo. I loved Egypt. It was a wonderful time. But I remember speaking to this other woman who absolutely hated Egypt, to the point where she actually landed in Egypt, in Cairo, and she skipped the entire pyramid experience because she said, I just don't like this city. The place where you go to, the experience you get from the place will be a reflection of your own attitude. And so to the question, what's the best place in the world to live in? What's the best city in the world to live in? I will answer this by telling you this lovely story. The story is the sage and the merchant. So the story goes like this. Once upon a time, a traveler was relocating from one city to another. When he arrived at his destination, right at the gate of the city, he found an old man, a wise man. So he asked him, "Hello, I'm new in this city, I've just arrived. And I'm wondering, how are the people in this city?" So the wise man looked at him and said, "Well, you know what? Why don't you first tell me how are the people in your city, where you came from?" So the traveler said, "Those were the worst people, man. I mean, I really hated them. All of them, actually. You know, they were backstabbers, they were dishonest people, you know, they were crooks, they were haters. You know, it was just a negative experience all around. You know, I'm glad I'm out of there." So the wise man replied, "Well, my friend, I think that you better skip this city here, because the people here, to be honest with you, are just as bad." So the traveler listened to that and said, "Oh man, that's terrible," and left. 1 hour later, another traveler arriving in that city saw the wise man at the gates of the city and asked, "Hello, sir. I'm just arriving from this faraway city and I wish to relocate in this beautiful town. But tell me, how are the people here?" The wise man looked at him and asked him the same question. "Well, first of all, how were the people in your city, my friend?" So the traveler looked at the wise man and said, "To be honest with you, sir, I left some wonderful people. Everybody was so nice, so courteous, so cordial. We all like one big family. Everywhere I was going, it was wonderful people. It was really, really a fantastic experience. And it was very difficult to leave, you know." So the wise man said, "Well, my friend, don't worry. The people in this city are just as friendly." And the traveler said, "Oh, that's fantastic," and went in. Now, next to the wise man, there was another man who had heard both conversations with both travelers. And so he asked the wise man, "Listen, man, I'm surprised. I taught you to be a wise man, and yet you gave 2 completely different answers to the same questions asked by these 2 travelers." The wise man looked at him and said, "Listen, we all carry our own universe within our heart. Open up your heart and your universe will expand. Your world will open up, your horizon will open up, and your perception of the people around you will change." Cheers.